already? Cheers!
Es que ella hacía mejores las tortillas.
That was a hard lesson for me to learn. It's like once you start putting yourself on the map, people will start copying your videos and reposting
Veronica,
shit. And that was the very first time that someone...
Alright, finally get to do some FPV flying. I'm headed out to Diablo Canyon. Just stopped and talked with some other guys in a Jeep truck, and they're talking about how it is apparently quicksand out there. So, probably not going to hike it this trip, but definitely going to fly it. But for the first part, I see these really cool mountains and hills in front of me, so I definitely want to get some footage of them. So I started off my day of FPV flying using the DJI Avata and the DJI RC Motion Controller 2. To be more precise, every FPV flight during this video was done with the DJI Avata, but not all were done with the motion controller. In fact, most were done with the standard RC controller. The motion controller is a one-handed flight joystick that has an internal gyroscope, which translates the motion of your hands into flight input. The motion controller has a trigger on the front of it that you squeeze in order to go faster and release in order to slow down or even stop. The motion controller is a great way to get into FPV flying due to how immersive it can be. Just how high these mountains over here are. Getting up just to the top, 350 feet. Awesome. The motion controller can be great for experienced pilots as well due to just how smooth the capture of the film you'll get will be. When filming in normal or sport mode on the standard RC controller, the jerky stops and starts from letting go of the controller sticks can sometimes lead to pretty janky looking footage. The precision control you have with the motion controller is honestly second to none. You're able to get up close and personal with objects and not worry so much about hitting them because you're using the natural movement of your hand and those fine motor skills to guide the drone instead of input through thumbsticks. The motion controller is not able to go into manual mode, however, so you're bound to normal and sport mode, which if you're trying to push the boundaries with what your drone can do, will leave you wanting a little bit. If you're just trying to cruise right along the mountains or have a really good control over your drone until you feel more comfortable expanding your repertoire a little bit, the motion controller is a great way to go if you're interested in getting into the hobby. Few of the DJI drones are able to hook up to the motion controller, but the DJI Avata is, and if you're looking into getting a pretty almost indestructible drone that will get some great footage and provide a really fun flying experience, I highly recommend the Avata. Unfortunately, even with this motion control, cannot dive very fast. So I'm gonna have to break out the old manual mode, put my skills to the test. Switch over to manual mode. It's gonna be my first real test of skill. So I've done a lot of practice on manual mode, but I've never dived off a cliff before. This could be interesting. I used the extendable sticks for manual mode. Just gets a little bit more grip because generally you're not grabbing it with your thumbs, grabbing it like this. Manual or acro mode is a completely different way of flying drones. Not only do you have to disable multiple fail-safes and change several settings to even be able to launch manual mode, it has to be armed every time you switch over to it. Switching over to manual. The joystick controls are completely changed around from normal and sport mode, and there's no automatically hovering to keep you in one spot. Once you're flying, it's all up to you to keep it in the air. In normal and sport modes, your drone will mainly hover in one spot if you take your hands off the controller, using GPS to keep itself centered in one location. Additionally, the pitch, roll, and yaw of your drone will be capped to a certain degree. Some of the aforementioned fail-safes and settings that must be changed before you can even start manual mode is the cap on your pitch, roll, and yaw so that your drone can actually turn upside down or fly completely sideways. This also allows you to dive the drone at a very high rate of speed. It is highly recommended you spend many hours in the flight simulator practicing manual mode before you take it out for your first time. I would call myself a mediocre at best FPV pilot at this point, and I myself spent probably 2 to 3 dozen hours in a flight simulator before even doing a real live flight with one of my drones. Even after spending so much time in the flight simulator, it still took me a long time to get even to the point of being able to do this sort of mountain surfing you see right here. The journey to being able to comfortably fly in manual mode such as this is quite an arduous one, so if you're just getting started on it, don't give up. There will always be better pilots than you, and since I am not using a custom drone, I'm using a DJI Avata, which is not the most acrobatic of FPV drones out there. It's still a very good way to learn and get some incredible footage.
God, this is like flying your own roller coaster.
I've got plans to someday soon build one of my own customized FPV drones so I can start practicing a lot more of the acrobatic skills and the high angle turns and whatnot, but for the moment I'm thrilled with the progress that I've made over the past year. Being able to surf down these snowy mountains like this has been an absolute treat, and if you heard me mention it in the GoPro footage, it's like flying your own roller coaster. There's nothing quite else in the world like it. I was never into skateboards or motorcycles or anything like that, so I can only assume this is how it feels when they go off a big jump or a half pipe and land it perfectly, because my heart was pounding the entire time I was flying this. And for the most part, this was just me warming up for the canyon.
God, that is fun. Alright, that was fun, but I am starting to lose a little bit of light because of how tall these mountains are, so better keep on moving until I get to the canyon, because I think that's going to be even more fun. One of the coolest parts about where we live here is that the canyon I'm going to is like a 25-minute drive if you go slow from our house. So I try to make it out every single trip just to be reminded of nature. It's a huge canyon. It's about 400 feet from the bottom to the top, and you can walk straight through it, and it is just towering rocks on either side of you. It is pretty crazy. We are here at the canyon, and my feet are already sinking into the mud. But man, look at that view. You can just walk right through the center of it. I'm mostly walking out here so that way I have better service, better remote control with the drone, and to run into anyone who might be out here at the trailhead so I can explain to them what I'm doing and they don't freak out, because especially the FPV one is quite loud. I don't really want to disturb too many people's peace when they're out here trying to get some recreation in. The first time I came out here, there were a bunch of people actually climbing the mountains, full blown, hanging on with chains and everything. So every time I come out here, I hope to see more. And actually, I see someone climbing a mountain right there.
It's approximately a quarter of a mile from the campground to where the canyon starts, and about another quarter of a mile all the way through the canyon. This is one of my favorite hikes I've ever been on. It's just a spectacular hike from beginning to end. Whether you're thinking of making a trip out to this canyon to see it for yourself, or don't think you'll ever be able to make it, enjoy this short little tour using my Mini 3 Pro.
So this is the back side of the canyon from where, if you walk all the way through it, and it comes out here and keeps on going because it's a whole trail. I'd love to walk it more one day, but for now, this is as far as I'm going.
Just as a warning, the next portion of the video has me trying to send it about as hard as I can at my skill level right now with an FPV drone, so there's going to be lots of flips and dives. If it's not your thing, you get motion sickness, not sure what to tell you. For this section, I did mix in a little bit of footage using the motion controller, mostly because I really wanted to get some good footage of show just how incredibly beautiful this canyon is, especially up close on the top of the walls where it's pretty hard to see unless you're flying or climbing.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how those FPV shots came out. If you told me I've been manual mode flying in Diablo Canyon even less than a year ago, I would have called you a liar. Never believe that you're too old to pick up a new skill. Because man, learning to fly manual mode is something else. I feel like Obi-Wan Kenobi out here. Now that's a name I have not heard in some time. I'm just trying to get some footage with the GoPro to give a better idea of just how huge this canyon is. It's about 250, 300 feet-ish up to the top. Diving straight down with the Avata. Whew. It's like your own little personal roller coaster. That was fun. That was fun. I feel a hell of a lot more confident now too. I didn't crash not a single time. That's about all you can hope for really, but still. I think it's about time to head back to the family. Go get some food. I'm not sure how well it accurately transcribes to the camera, but sorry about the up nose, but that portion up there is hanging over the top of me. It's not a sheer canyon like that. It's kind of a curved over the top. So as pretty as this hike is, as much as I love it, there's always that little bit of fear walking through here. You're gonna hear the cracking of stones and see death rolling towards you. If you're in New Mexico, I haven't had it happen yet. Come to Diablo Canyon. And I'm almost out of the danger zone. Worth the walk. God, it's worth. If you're in New Mexico, just walking through it. Come to Diablo Canyon. Even if you're not here to fly drones or anything. Worth the walk. Just hiking through. It's worth the end. Just walking through it. It's a beautiful, even short little hike. You're not here to fly drones or anything. Just hiking through it from beginning to end in this canyon right now. It's a beautiful, short little hike. It is like people think I'm crazier than I already am. Deadly. Walking through the desert in this canyon myself, but that's why I'm whispering. Because I don't want people think I'm crazier than I already am. Walking through the desert, talking to myself, but 10, 15 miles from Santa Fe. But again, it's only like 10, 15 miles from Santa Fe. Beautiful, beautiful damn state. God. Almost out. of these days, I'm gonna take the Jeep truck out here. I'm gonna camp out here. I just gotta make sure to not do it in monsoon season, because apparently this whole thing turns into a river. I definitely want to bring the kids out here one time before we leave on this trip, which brings up an interesting thought. And I talk about my kids, but I doubt you'll ever see them on this channel. I really want my kids because, yeah, YouTube. I post them a fair amount for friends and family. Or I'm really too much on the internet as it is. But I don't really want my kids, so yeah, you'll see them on YouTube. There are still so many mountains I want to come out here and surf. So many mountains, so little time. One thing I will say though, I was using the 4-blade props from Master Air Screw. They did a hell of a lot better job at high altitude than the stock ones. I could tell immensely. Not sponsored. Hello, sweet mama. Alright, so for the sake of continuity, I came out here a second day to film because I feel like I didn't get enough FPV footage the first time, and I just honestly wanted to come back and have another adventure. So as I was walking out of the canyon, there were a bunch of people climbing that first side of the cliff when you first come into Diablo Canyon. So I pulled up my big boy pants and went up and talked to them and struck up a conversation with a bunch of them. Learned more about mountain climbing than I have in my entire life. Learned about some cool apps they use that I'm going to try and start providing some photos for. And with their permission, I got a bunch of cool photos and videos of them, which I will hopefully be sending out to them because I gave them my business card to reach out to me in case they want any photos. So looking forward to that. Big shout out to Mike for teaching me a ton while I was out there and for being just a genuinely nice guy. And shout out to Garrett and your dad, whose name I've forgotten, I'm sorry, but Garrett, keep climbing, buddy. You seriously impressive. If there's any other mountains or valleys or gorges or canyons that you can think of for me to fly through that you'd like to see me get some FPV footage in, or even just do a kind of hike and talk through about it, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm always looking out for new adventures. But for now, I think that's where I'm going to end this video. So if you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a like and subscribe, because making the algorithm do its thing and making the funny numbers go up really helps keep me motivated to edit all of this footage. I will never get used to saying like and subscribe. Oh god, what am I turning into? So to close out this video, I'm gonna show off some videos of these crazy adventures climbing a mountain. See you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed.